many people, and sure he did get the kills, but his tanks weren't playing properly around him not healing enough, so. Oh, they put Zephyr in? Is it Zephyr instead of Zumba? Let's see. We'll end up going into the match and see what they have. Oh, Kuki instead of Miro. Fleta instead of Weekend, and Zephyr instead of Zumba. Okay. And then those are the only two supports I have. I'm gonna close my window real quick. Okay. Sometimes the meta's been a bit different on these maps. It seems like there's been like a lot of Widow, some Reaper, some Ana, but tank supports seem to be somewhat the same. No, they send two people. Mercy might die here. Maybe not. We'll see. Seems like the tanks on the point just hugged the wall and waited, and I think they had one person healing them, and then Toby was just back with Fleta. They really needed to kill the Widow. Like, he needed to deflect that actual first shot on the Widow, otherwise the Mercy just sustains. The Mercy dropped back, they were split, so the Genji was on the Widow, and then Monkey was on the ground trying to chase the Mercy, and they ended up not getting anything. Ooh, close. Seoul lost anyone? I think they're just stalling and waiting out the Mercy Valk. Undead killed himself with Pulse Bomb? Yeah, that was really smart. They just waited out the Valk, and then they were like, then Shanghai decided to chase, and they just tranced. Is this undead guy the same guy who's the Widow one trick on ladder, half dead? Or is it a different guy? Let's see if they play Widow on offense. Maybe we'll see. Just to make sure they have numbers on the point. You have numbers on the point, you just slow the respawns down a lot. Yeah, it's pretty clean. I should probably full screen it. See how they deal with this Widow. Just all LOSing it. Shanghai needs to force onto the point or let this Widow get a better shot. You need to walk and touch the point, and it forces Seoul back. Yeah, they went too aggressive. They dropped. You're supposed to just stay on the roof, and then you go back to point. I think both teams played incorrectly around the Widow. You have to be pretty precise, but it seems like they both kind of botched it a little bit with deciding how many resources you want to send back, and then exactly what they want to do, because they ended up doing almost the same thing where one person dropped and another person stayed on high ground. Forces them on high ground. I've never seen Cookie, so it'll be interesting to see. I think Seoul's just trying to, yeah, they were just trying to bait them in. So Widow was landing a lot of body shots. There we go, there's a headshot. Almost kills Fleta. The Widow was landing shots initially and then stopped landing them as much. Started landing like a lot of body shots but not finishing them off, so Seoul was also really good about backing off whenever they used their Valk. Okay, they tried to walk forward with their trance, but they got headshot while in the trance. So Diaz killed 5. Oh, okay. So he was landing body shots and not killing anyone last round, but I guess that was just a prank. Does Soul have any ults? They have Dragon Blade. Maybe they can clean up these fights. They gotta try like focus someone, get someone low. Alright, Fleta, that was pretty beast mode protect. They got someone low enough so he could just start getting resets for himself. He is spamming that resource. You don't want to spam that. You want to just like be tapping it, especially when they're not under threat. You just want to be tapping it so you can actually just heal people over time. Because the heal is probably the biggest thing on Moira heal. The heal over time rather. It's probably the biggest heal for her. So you just want to just be like tapping it and just reapplying the dot on people. See all these headshots. Oh. Yeah, they were in trance, but I mean they're just getting headshot and Kuki was too high in the air and so he actually wasn't in trance technically. He probably thought he was in trance and could have dove with that. Miro's usually really good about it where he like will duck his head down whenever he goes for it. Ooh, they're using a lot of ults here. You really need to just make sure they win this fight. Yeah, they didn't end up getting anyone low enough. Or they got them low enough, but Shanghai had double support ults to just protect themselves. It's all about having numbers on the points right now, slow the respawns of Seoul Dynasty. Alright. Times aren't even similar, but they were able to cap 2 points. I think Seoul got too aggressive with their support ults. Like they thought they could clean up fights while they're using them and inside their ults. but they ended up just getting headshot inside one of the trances where they walked too far forward and they walked into Widow LOS, and then another fight where they gave up a ton of percentage. I think it was basically just another instance of like underestimating how long their Mercy ult was going to last, and with the reses, they just ended up resing like people who were in the fight longer. So like Shanghai's members were alive longer, and then they popped Valk later, and so they traded picks, but then they didn't respect the reses. I would stick on this Widow. This Widow was their win condition. See if they dive it correctly this time. It was botched both times on defense. Let's see. Playing the corner again, which is good. Spotting it with just with tanks. Shanghai did it last time. You don't want to force onto the right side unless you can get your Widow over there. You trade 1 for 1. You want to just usually put him on point. They're bodyguarding him. Oh my god, this guy is popping off. Okay, I've not really seen Widow be on the left side before. Usually you just have to try to have her on high ground and then have the people on the point, but they put him on the left side on the Mega and then just bodyguarded him. So whenever Seoul tried to rotate to go on top of him, they ended up just putting the rest of the team on top of him. So you can see right here, Genji's on him, D.Va just goes and bodyguards him. Monkey tries to jump up, D.Va bodyguards him again, and the rest of the team follows him. That was really good protection of the Widow. They're just walking up slow, letting Widow hit shots. That's what you want to do. Oh, that was a sick shot. Okay. Shanghai is definitely committing too much here. They definitely could have reset this fight and then just come back. They used the trance, and I think they just, once they saw the trance, they felt like they needed to commit the Valk, but they really didn't need to. I don't think it matters. Can someone even touch? Yeah, Monkey's having to touch. They really need Dia to just get some point blank one-shot kills here. Like he's just getting kited. They made a Lucio swap and they're just kind of kiting away from him. Yeah, I think they committed too many ults to their first push on offense where they could have, it was okay to use the trance to trade for Blade, but then you want to come back with the Valk and then try to win the fight off that. Because they ended up just committing too much and then they didn't have enough punch with their second push. And it also extended the fight to be so much longer because they had so much more sustain that they ended up just like wasting a lot of time in like an even fight. Alright, let's see. It's Widow again. See how they, oh, it's Widow v Widow. Okay, this is a bit different though. You spot the Widow first. I don't know where Dia's Widow is. He's landing shots. Where is he? Oh, he's been standing up there. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, that counter Widow didn't end up getting as much value. Fleta just ended up zoning, really. Like, they didn't even get that much value off of it, but because of how defensively they were going to have to play, Dia really didn't get that many kills. He was just hitting tanks. Like, he was zoned in the fact that he couldn't play as aggressive on the roof and probably get as many free shots where he could walk forward, but if he would have gotten picked himself from Fleta, then it would have just been like an instant loss in the fight because they would have lost all their pressure. So he ended up having to play safer, but it ended up helping them. Bunny is just forcing. Wow, he forced the Diva Bomb, kills the Zen by himself, while the rest of Seoul is just cleaning up the tanks that were on them. Yep, get the man advantage on the point, you just win it.